Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net. Our founder, Jack Roser, and myself, Carol Parisi, have Deb Gordils with us. And during the break, we were talking about gentrification. Now, Deb, what does exactly that mean?
Gentrification is when you get a grouping of affluent white people who come into a community and buy the property at whatever the market value is in that community, with a lot of promises that the community will change, and the city puts in a lot of money to change the landscape of the area.
That was going on in the 80s, big time.
That was going
yuppies.
Well, you know, actually, it started
yuppie
in the 60s. Lincoln Park happened in the 60s because I was born not too far from Wrigley Field. My parents had a business on Clark Street. Mm-hmm. We owned a house on George Street, George and Halsted. Mm-hmm. It was Lincoln Park. There was a building on the corner called Puerto Ricanville. That's what was our nickname for it. And, you know, families in there with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids, everybody running around, all Hispanic community, that whole area of Lincoln Park. And then as a child, I remember fires, lots of fires everywhere. And in addition to the fires happening in homes and watching the fire trucks, and, you know, I mean, people were dying. You know, they couldn't all get out of the building. And these were not all empty buildings that were being set ablaze, although they were the majority. I remember being afraid of it, but being very much aware that this was just part of what happens, were fires. I mean, I know now as an adult that there was something that was going on in there. You know, you could call it arson. I don't have any proof of it, but it definitely was something that was considered at the time the Red Scare.
But you said something about folks buying these $500,000 homes.
Well, I'll give you an example. We sold our home. My parents bought our house for $7,000. Mm-hmm. We had developers knocking on the doors and trying to get us to sell for a couple years. After 4 times that they tried to start our house on fire, we had 5 children in the house, went to 7 children in the house. I still remember I was doing my homework at the kitchen table, and I said, Dad, I smell smoke, and opened up the blinds, and right there, our porch was on fire. No, Dad went out there and put it out, and he's like, that's it, I've had it, you know, because they were hard workers. My mom owned a business. My dad worked in a factory. We had 7 children. This was the second attempt on our house getting burned down. They were offering us $17,000. We had bought the house for $7,000. It's a $10,000 increase in the 1960s.
That's huge.
That's huge. That's huge. So what happened a couple years later, we sold the house.
I can tell you that the dollar was worth more than 7 times as much then.
That's right.
So 7,000 would be about $80,000.
We sold the house for $17,000, moved into Lakeview, as all the Hispanics who left Lincoln Park did. They moved into Lakeview, and our house went up on the market, was sold, and went up for $77,000 in less than 2 years. In less than 2 years, the house we sold for $17,000 was going for $77,000. Absolutely insane.
So did any of these neighborhoods make a difference for the city, or you think it just was a big dog and pony show? And then we want to hear more about the IRR PAC, because we're going to be checking out here for this week's show. So real quick, did it make a difference or did it hurt it?
It made a difference. I think it made a difference in that politically, those people now that own these $500,000 mortgages were told they were going to have better schools, better communities, and lower taxes. They have amazing property taxes skyrocketing. The schools are underperforming for them, and there's a high crime rate happening all around them. Highest armed robbery rate is in Wrigley Field. There you go. Bigger than anywhere else. So these voters cannot be intimidated, and they're angry right now, and I'm hoping that they'll vote Republican.
And how do they get in touch with you, Deb?
They can get in touch with us through 1-773-472-VOTE, VOTE. We're the Chicago IR PAC office on the north side for Jack Roser.
And that's part of the Republican Renaissance PAC.
That's right. Visit us on Facebook, IRR PAC. On Facebook, like us. We get about 4 to 5 hits a day.
And don't forget to check out the El Sueño Americano at a location near you. That's one of Deb's things. We'll have to talk more about that next time. And don't forget, go to championnews.net, get your copy of Illinois Pension Scam, and we'll see you back here next week.